there's this feeling of scarcity that makes people feel like, oh my God, queer art is dying. Queer art is running away. Like, we're not going to have places to do art anymore. We're not going to have places to do drag. And that is sadly partly real and is partly happening in a lot of places.
But it's not you against me for these spaces.
Yeah,
it's us against the people that are
the
taking things away. Hello and welcome to the Queer Vision podcast. I'm Becca and this is
Ko.
And we are here to tell you that we're still alive. It's a ramble fest, but you're going to learn so much about us, so much about the business, some things about random stuff. If you want to become an event producer or if you're just interested in the ins and outs of what it's like to run our business-ish. Or, if you just want to...
There's a lot more.
Yeah, if you just want to listen, and then you'll enjoy it.
And wait, this is coming out when?
June, early June. So happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
Go listen. Love you.
Hello.
Hi.
We have not made a talking post in a really long time.
So long. Like October?
Yeah. It's been a while since we've got on here and just candidly talked about our life, and a lot has happened. And a lot has changed.
So much.
So I just think
I'm engaged now.
it would be fun to talk about that. I mean, not the engagement specifically. It could be fun to talk about that, I guess, but
no,
it could also...
It's okay. No one cares.
But I think it would just be fun to talk about all the things that have changed and all the stuff we've done thus far.
Okay.
And how maybe it's affected us. Oh,
because I actually don't know what
you mean.
What all we've done. I mean, we've
hard
changed so many
to know
things.
all we've done since then. I guess laying the groundwork of where we're at now, we sit with 2 monthly shows that are routine with Nasty Queer. We've done 2 markets with Queerolina now. We have done a plethora of drag events with Queerolina.
We have the writing critique now.
Yeah, we have a writing critique group. We have a reading group. We have
the book club.
Yeah, book club.
The book club did exist the last time, but it had only been its second time. Yeah. So it's been existing since last January.
So yeah, a lot has happened. I think Strut Slut did exist the last time we had a chit chat and a talk, but Strut Slut is still going strong. She is still pulling, the people out. And she is now housed at the Dirty Bull every 3rd Saturday, which you have probably heard us talk about on this podcast before.
You can honestly find all of our events at queerolina.org/events. So you can actually see it has a list of all the recurring ones. But we also started helping other people with their events. So that's kind of cool. And I think we should talk about what the Nasty Queer versus Queerolina versus Queer Vision, that breakdown. Because we realized from the outside perspective, people didn't really understand what Queerolina actually is, or they've learned about us. You look like you're dissociating.
I am.
We realized from the outside perspective, people either don't really understand what Queerolina is, or they only know a portion of it. So whenever we created Queerolina, we were we want to uplift queer voices, and it's this big umbrella, right? But then we were well, how do we do it? And we had to kind of break it down to be able to get that done, because you can't do everything with one entity, I guess. So we kind of decided, kind of subconsciously, I think, we need to break it down into empowering yourselves, empowering others, and empowering the community. I think we're the 3 that we narrowed down on. And I think Nasty Queer, we had decided, was empowering ourselves, because you go to love yourself and to get comfortable with your own body and to feel comfort in kink spaces or in alternative spaces and such like that. In the Queer Vision, which is where we have the cast and we have our magazine, I think that's empowering others. So it's making sure that others' voices are heard. And then the Queerolina events themselves, the markets and things like that, are empowering the community, because we're gathering people together as the core. Not they don't do anything else.
And I think it's also just good to know, all that said, running a it's like having a child in a lot of ways. And one of which is that you don't always know what it is 100% at first, or what it's going to be as it continues to grow. Because it will continue to grow and change and evolve. And I think we can have mission statements, we can have visions, we can kick the thing. We can have these goals, we can have these visions, we can have these things, but at the end of the day,
when people come together and they come to our events, or whenever they put in a submission, or whenever we talk online and people see what they want to see or what they want to feel, it turns into its own thing. So even though we're putting in this much,
no, I agree. It's that, but it's also it's the same thing as perception of yourself, right? Yeah. You can only control the perception of yourself so much in front of the general public, or other certain people, and people
Uh-huh.
are always gonna have their own thoughts, their own opinions, their own XYZ. Same thing with a business. You can only set so many things in place so many times, but other people are always gonna have their own opinions, their own interpretations
Yeah.
on this,
Their own
this, or
experiences
this.
with it, or like if somebody's going to every single one of our events, they're gonna get a different experience than if they've only ever been to a
N
Queer Atlanta market
or a nasty queer event.
or an yeah, like
Like, because those are
yeah.
drastically so different, and I think also some fun lore for the people
Oh god, we have
who
lore?
may be
Oh, we do
interested
have lore, actually.
for nasty queer anyway, is that nasty queer has kind of been a thing before Queerolina was a thing, at least within my brain. So nasty queer was something that I wanted to create for a long time. I wasn't sure what it was. I wasn't sure how it was gonna show up. I wasn't sure exactly what it was gonna be, but I knew that it was a name that came to me and that felt right, and I held on to it for some unknown reason. And I had an idea to make it like a clothing shop, and it never took off. And then this just felt like the right time to make it, bring it to life, to
Mhm.
incorporate it. And it just made sense. We were already going with Queerolina, we were already going with that name. So to lean and take these events that fit exactly in what nasty queer meant to me in my head, it was just perfect. And so that is kind of where that started as well. So nasty queer wasn't necessarily born from Queerolina, as it was like incubated in Queerolina per se, right? Queerolina is the mommy. Something else, probably something else beyond my understanding is the father. Ew, no, then that feels patriarchal. Patriarchal.
You're adding an eel where you don't need to. Patriarchal.
Period. Maybe I hit that pin too hard, but at least I'm
Anywho
talking.
anywho, that's true. No, I think basically what Kohi is saying is we've had so many ideas, and finally, because we were allowed to sit down together
Mhm.
and, like, because everything came together, we met the right people, then specific parts of our dreams have been able to, like, flow, and then we came up with different ideas. I think, like, because of who we've been able to partner with, because of who we've been able to, like, even just work with in general and communicate with, and who we've been able to learn from and whatnot, I think it's, like, taken a life of its own. We are still able to say, "Okay, we want it to, like, guide it in this
Well,
direction."
yeah,
We're
100%.
like we're like stoppers. We're like the gutter stoppers.
Or literally just like a parent.
Well, we're guiding it now. I was doing a different analogy. Like when you bowl and you have the little
Well,
gutter
yeah,
stoppers where it's gonna
exactly. It's
bounce
like,
back and forth, but it'll ultimately go this direction.
yeah, like, there's things to keep it on track, obviously, that we do. I mean, yeah, the business isn't just its own entity running on its own.
I wish.
Hello. I also wish,
Life would
because
be so much easier.
that's also a great transition, because that's something I think would be good to talk about as
How
well.
hard it is to run a business?
And maybe just the impacts it's had on us as people,
Oh,
because
okay.
I feel like a lot of people don't know us as people and don't know what our lives look like behind the scenes or behind the curtain, and it
We don't
can
have
look a
lives.
lot different than it actually is.
Like, I think
Um,
sometimes people do think, and you've experienced this too, people think that because we say, "Oh, we own this business,"
mhm.
that we make, like, a shit ton of money, or because we put this event on, like, "Oh, we obviously make this much money." No, no, people think that we make a lot of money because we own a business, or, like, as soon as you have a business, "Oh my gosh, you must be, like, winning capitalism," and that's definitely not the case.
Well,
If
maybe,
anything, we're losing capitalism. We
yeah.
strive to make sure that people are paid well.
Mhm.
We wanna make it sustainable too, where it's, like, kind of putting a little bit of money into savings so that we can, like, afford to do another event. But, like, we, like, never pay ourselves.
I mean, and if we do, is okay, so, like, one, to go on that as well, not to be, like, martyr complex, like, "Oh, we don't get paid, wah, wah," but
No, but
also
we
it's like,
prioritize
I
making
think,
sure that, like, everybody's taken care of.
yeah, I think that's a transparency that's kind of needed, not to say, like, "Oh, we're not getting paid," but to say, like, "Hey, formers and those kind of things are our priority and
Yeah.
always kinda have been."
Yeah, like, we, like,
If
have, like, a budget where we, like, break
Mhm.
down, "Okay, this is the costs we need." Like, we know for sure it's gonna cost this much for the winner or for, like, the sound system, whatever it is, and then we have, like, the performers, and then it's us, right? So it's like, we know
That we are the first.
we're the first ones to get eliminated.
And that's just kind of, I think, something that it takes running a business, especially running an event, something that's so heavily in event production, and especially queer event production. I feel like if you're not willing, I'm not saying to sacrifice yourself, but at least willing to, when things shit hits the fan, to be the parent in the
To be
situation.
unselfish.
Yeah,
Like,
you have to be selfless in that situation, in my opinion, as a producer, in my opinion. I do think that you should hold some selflessness, like, you should, I'm not saying to be a
there's a
selfless
gray area.
person,
No,
right?
there's a gray
It's a gray
area.
area,
There's a
of
gray area.
course, and you have to make money and you have to be sustainable, which is why we can get into what is a fair booking for people, because that is so debated.
There is a gray area of, like, you have to make sure you're taken care of, but you
Mhm.
also have to make sure you're not taking advantage of everybody else.
Exactly.
There is, like, the if we hit a really low month, we'll we'll go ahead and forego, like, our portion, and
Mhm.
it's just going towards the performers and the costs that we always have, right?
Mm.
And then there are some times where it's like, "Okay, it's not quite where we want it to be, but literally we can't afford to let go of our portion
Yeah.
because we need this for this other event," or, whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, and then that also but I think, yeah, like, there are times in which that sacrifice is necessary, and
Yeah,
you have to be ready to make it and use your discretion to make it. And if you're making it too much, that's just as
then
bad as if you're never making it.
yeah, because then you'll fail because
Yeah,
you don't have any sustainability
yeah,
or because you're using too much of your own money, and,
which
like,
yeah, that
we are lucky that we do have partners that, like, pay for a lot of the other
mhm,
things,
mhm.
so we are able to say, "Okay, I'm not really bringing in an income," or, like, we're able to bring in way less of an
Al
income.
be alive. Yeah.
Yeah, we're able to be alive because we have amazing partners. Not everybody can do that, so, like, that is also a discretion of, like, okay,
Yeah.
if you need it literally to, like, exist, then you need it to exist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like that's just the hard thing, and I would even say anybody who I wouldn't discourage people who want to be in, like, queer nightlife to, like, not pursue it full time. I would just say to be prepared what it is and be realistic about what it is if you're going to pursue it full time. As finally, like, quitting my full-time job and putting myself into this, like well, no, it wasn't a full-time job, but my part-time job and, like, full-time putting myself into this over the past few
Mhm.
months has changed my perspective on that a little bit. I think it's definitely been hard. I am and I don't know that I want to necessarily say it on camera, but I also am just in this era of transparency, and I don't really give a fuck anymore, is, like, I am more broke than I've probably been in a long time
Yeah.
in my life. I mean, my childhood was really poor, but it's
Sorry.
about close back there.
I'm the brokest I've been as an adult, and I was like, "Me too," and then I realized I actually am, like, the most poorest I've ever been
Yeah.
because I just had a plumbing issue that costs so
Anyway, yeah, but life goes on and life happens to everybody. Like, we're not saying this to be like, "Oh," but we're just talking about life, and the reality is, yeah,
The reality is we're not like, "Oh my god, we're making it." No,
yeah,
but we are trying to say, like, because we have the capability to make a little less because we have amazing partners, we're then able to say, "Okay," to these other people that we've worked with, "Hey, you don't wanna do the back end stuff. We can
mhm,
help you with that."
yeah.
And then, like, we're not getting very much from these events, but we can help you make your events
And we
happen.
also circling back to the booking fee, because I do wanna talk about this a little bit, because I know drag people listen to our
Okay.
podcast a lot, and obviously a booking fee changes for whatever type of art you're doing, and is very different dependent on your city, your venue, your state,
The day,
the day, the economy, like, so many fucking things, right? So let's all keep all that in mind.
your zodiac.
Back to the booking fee, right? Listen, I was having a conversation, and this is no shade to this person, even though I hope they don't take it as shade. I don't think they will, because what they were saying was not wrong. I agree 100%
Can you
with what
whisper
they
in
were
my
saying.
ear?
I can just take it out of this, but it wasn't anything bad, right? And so, like, they were talking about booking fees and trying to give people sustainable booking fees, and I was talking about, yeah, like that has been something that's been really hard, or just been something that we've took as a priority or tried to as a business on all ends. So when I say that, I mean like on the producer end, but also on the performer end, right?
Can you explain what that means?
So, yes. So, essentially, what that means is obvious. Performer fees can range a lot, specifically in our area, at least from what I've seen in the more alternative leaning scene. I couldn't tell you what people on the more pageant side of drag get made. That is not my world. Not that I have any issues with it. I just do not have the experience. So, that being said, on the average in the world that I am going to tilt this just a little bit
Oh my god.
because it's not center. So,
I'm watching you.
anyway, in the world that I'm in, fees can range anywhere from 50 to 150, 200 max, but really in our area, you don't see much more than 150 as far as I'm aware. I'm sure some bigger events you'll get more than that, but that is usually a flat rate. That being said, that's not always feasible. I find that this rate most beautifully sits at like 100. Even then, I acknowledge that 100 barely pays for a wig
Mhm.
if it's a good wig, barely pays for an outfit if it's a good outfit. So you're doing all that, and a set of nails is over $100 most of the time if you're getting them actually done. It does not pay for it. But the only way that it's able to survive is being realistic about what we can pay people. Because we've seen a lot of people come in to us even and working with us and like want to pay people like, oh, I want to give everybody at least $100. That's beautiful. And I
We love that.
want to do that. And at
But
events that we can do that, we do. But realistically, is we have to ask the question, is this event this at that scale?
yeah, because
You know?
most of it has to do with, like, we aren't getting nobody here that we've worked with at
Mhm.
least, and including us, has really gotten hired to do an event where
Mhm.
we have this much money to work with
Yeah.
without also having to add in tickets and raffle into making sure people get enough,
Yeah,
right?
we're working sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, we only have venues that fill this much, and we can't raise the prices of the tickets because then it's not accessible for the community, right? So it's like, okay, if you have 50 people max in this room and you can only charge $15, that's not gonna pay 8 people $100,
Yeah,
on
and
top of the other fees.
yeah, exactly, and then on top of whatever fees that a
The
venue you're
venue.
working with may be charging you or just whatever else, a DJ fee, a, door person fee, all these things, the people who have to work the
Yeah.
event. There are so many little things that
Go into stuff. So you
go
need to
into it.
know that whenever you're going in
Yeah.
and doing production because you need to know what you're getting into, I feel
Yeah.
like.
And I feel like there's just some events where it's like that's not even reasonable if you were to sell out completely, if you
Yeah.
sold over. And
And that's
like
okay.
yeah, because it's just a lower capacity event,
Yeah.
right? And so then you have to be realistic and be like, okay, this is a lower capacity event. The business is not paying me any money to do this event. So let's be realistic about what it would look like if we sold a median average of sales, right? What does that look like when you take that money and you do the math? Like those things are just really important. And I think there's so much nuance to a booking fee that a lot of people maybe don't even realize if they haven't produced.
Yeah, and if you are like, "No, I know that I am worth this much and more," that's totally okay.
Yeah,
We're not saying, "Well, you
100%.
have
Get
to
your
wait
bag.
for the thing." Do whatever you can. If you can find bookings that are that much, do it. We're just saying for, like, the newer people that are coming in doing production or even, like I mean, we've been doing it for, what, a year and a half now,
Mhm.
and it's not I mean, that's really actually really young, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
I
not something
just
that can just jump immediately into, "Okay, we already are making this much money, we know that." And, like, even then, I've seen people that have done production for, like, 10, 15 years that are like, "Okay, all of a sudden the economy went to shit. We aren't getting the people that are paying the things that we need to. Well, we have savings. The only way that we can keep this booking is to pay people out of pocket, essentially." And, like, that can work for a time being, but that doesn't
yeah.
mean it's going to work sustainably,
Yeah, we can't
and we don't want people to basically martyr themselves,
yeah,
essentially.
we can't all fund the arts
No.
out of our own dime.
God, no.
Um,
I wish I could.
like, it just doesn't like, we all have to communally do it, and I think we are all communally doing it the best we can, but I think also I don't know, to some extent too, it's like, I just wish that there were better systems in place, and I wish
Capitalism didn't exist.
yeah. I just wish yeah, I wish we could do what we loved to
Yeah.
do and get paid for it regardless, and we didn't have to have all the bullshit because I think some of the infighting even in community and in drag spaces specifically and production community is the scarcity complex of a lot of people and the scarcity complex of the scene. The
Mhm.
scene itself has so much
It's scarcity
feeling of
complex.
scarcity.
It's scarcity
Not
complex and power complex.
yeah, and I say feeling of scarcity because I don't think the scene itself has true, at least in this area, like the triangle, greater triangle area, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, Carborough, Cary, whatever.
You can list all of
I could list all
Go
of them.
ahead.
I don't want to continue, but I could, but I don't want to. Those ones are
Okay.
good enough. Sorry if you live in any of the other places. But
It's not scarcity.
oh, okay. Yeah. Scarcity. So I say it's a feeling of scarcity and not an actual scarcity excuse me, in my experience. And I say that only because I see a lot of venues that want to work with queer businesses. That being said, want to work and actually working with a queer business are two very different things. And a lot of places want to work, but don't actually want to do the hard things or deal with the bullshit that
Or
comes with
support.
it and actually back your people. We've dealt with it already a ton, and I'm sure you have too if you've ever produced.
And that includes marketing with people and collaborating with people and acknowledging that not everybody's going to like the thing and standing up for people when they're not there.
Yeah. And if you feel added right now, if you
Then
feel then that's not my fault.
you should
Anyway,
probably step back and reevaluate yourself.
if you think we're talking about you, well,
We're probably not,
we're probably not,
but
but that's not my problem.
that's an internal conflict you need to
Um,
deal with yourself.
but regardless, I just think that there's this feeling of scarcity that makes people feel like, oh my God, queer art is dying, queer art is running away, like we're not going to have places to do art anymore, we're not going to have places to do drag. And that is
Agree.
sadly partly real and is partly happening in a lot of places.
But it's not you against me for these spaces.
Yeah,
It's us
it's
against the people
against
that are
the
taking the things away.
I don't wanna say the power, but, like,
The
you know,
power that be
the fucking millionaires that are
government,
sitting up in fucking
billionaires.
castles telling us we can't do shit, the fucking say I
They
don't know
don't
why
have
I said
castles.
castles,
I
but they
don't
might as well be. They might as well be. Modern day castles,
mansions.
mansions, and skyscrapers are modern day castles. I digress.
Okay.
The castles symbolize wealth. skyscrapers and mansions symbolize
I
wealth.
don't think billionaires live in skyscrapers.
They do. You didn't I've never heard of, like, the building I can't remember what it's called, but the one in New York City where it's, like, all the billionaires live there? People that's people's dream. You didn't know this was, like, people's dream is to go live on a top of a
I
skyscraper
thought
in
that
New
was
York
the
City?
millionaires, not the billionaires.
Oh, no, the billionaires also wanna live, but their skyscraper is, like, the tallest in the whole city. That's what this building is. You know I can't remember what it's
I don't
called,
know
and
what
if I
that
could,
is.
but I saw it when I was in New York last, and
Why do
somebody in the
why do
comments
rich
tell
people
me
wanna do
because
that?
you know what I'm talking about. You can see it from Central Park. It's like that really tall-ass fucking
If I
skyscraper
was
that people live
rich
in.
if I was rich, I would buy so much land and I would turn it into, like, a park, like a national park, essentially, but, like, it would be, like, privately owned national park, and then I would just live on a small portion of it.
You're so good.
No, it's because I don't like people.
Yeah, I would actually,
That's a lie. I
probably
actually really do like people.
I would actually probably buy a house like this
Oh my
or like the one we
god.
have, and then,
They
like, that
like
has
my
a
house.
yard and well, I do love your backyard a lot.
It's a lot.
But, like, that has a backyard and feels very outsy, and then I would have
Oh,
yeah, and then I would also have a skyscraper in New York City and maybe somewhere in Tokyo.
I mean, if
Maybe not Tokyo, but Japan. Maybe not even Japan. I don't know that I'd like it, but
I was gonna have
ideally.
a skyscraper, I would want it custom designed, and I would design it because I do have that background.
So when your house falls apart, it's only your fault.
I don't have the money to fix it, so it doesn't matter. It
So
doesn't
does
matter
it
how
when
much you
your
design it.
skyscraper crumbles
No, no, no. I have to have a professional engineer actually sign it. I don't have a license, but I can design it and then they can fix it.
okay. Okay, T.
But it's gonna be pretty because
Yeah,
I think that minimalism can only get us so far.
that's real. Oh my god, wait, because, like, taking an old like, the look of a townhouse or, like, an old style house, but doing that in a skyscraper, which maybe is not doable, which is why they haven't done it yet,
Or they're boring.
but, like, could you imagine, like,
I
almost like
mean,
a big giant clock tower, but it's, like, the
before
size of a skyscraper? That'd be cunt.
before they did the Sydney Opera House, then they were like, "No, there's no way you can do, like, the curved."
Yeah,
So, I'm just saying,
who's doing it?
I think
Anyway,
I think either the Sydney Opera House or the Sydney Harbor
we
Bridge
went on
was designed by a woman.
this was such a tangent we went on.
Yeah, but it's important.
Moral of the story is
You
we
can do
should
whatever you want,
yeah, and we should stop fighting each other. There's really
not us.
I just think that there is
There's more out there than we're actually looking at,
and
and
there
we're seeing
always
each
will
other
be.
we're seeing each other as competition when we shouldn't be, because we should be working together to realize if I help you, then you getting this option or this opportunity is actually going to help the community as a whole, in which case I am going to be benefited from it. That doesn't mean help every single person and never help yourself,
Mhm.
but it does mean, okay, I see you doing something similar to me. That doesn't mean that you are now competition and I should blackball you, uh, or
Get
talk
you
nasty or
for yeah.
whatever.
It's just, like, also, I think, too, at the end of the day, a successful queer event or even a not successful queer event, a queer event
Where
or
people
gay
come
event
together.
that people come together at, period,
Full
is a
stop.
win.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if you disagree with that. I don't care all the other shitty things that could happen at that event. The fact that the event was advertised and it was posted and it was put up and it was held, no matter how bad or awful it was, it's still a win in some tiny degree.
It's always better if it's run by queer people and it's going
Yeah.
to benefit queer people and
And
it's
if
going
it's
to benefit the queer venue.
yeah. And it's always, we want people to have a good feeling and a good vibe when they're in a space. All those things are important. But at the end of the day, just having a queer space exist is important. So, yeah, even when I've been in competitive things or I've seen people that I maybe don't think are the best people to be in community or XYZ,
Unless they're completely unsafe.
unless they're completely unsafe, I shut my mouth because it's not my business. And at the end of the day, it's still good for the community
Yeah.
if people are going out to their events. I don't
And getting
care
support,
and
and
getting
getting
support.
support.
And like at the end of the day, honestly, if that means my event has less at it, then so be it. That's kind of just what the world wanted. And there's only so much I can do about that. I'm not fighting to get people at our events. I'm sorry. I will advertise, I'll do the things, but I will never go be like, oh, but you need to come to my event. But you need to
Yeah,
come to my event.
and
I'm just
also,
not that girl.
I
I'm
think
sorry. I want you there, but I'm also just like, I'm not like I'm only so pushy.
yeah, and I think circling
I'm sorry.
completely back around too, like, I think that's why we have, like that's why we sat down and said, "Okay, what has nasty queer turned into?
Mhm.
What has Queer Vision turned into? What has Queerolina as its own turned into? And I think that's where it's like, I hear Coey talking about events that we're doing for Nasty Queer, and I'm like, okay, yeah, the whole reason for advertising isn't just to get tickets and people
Mhm.
in the door. It's to make sure that everybody that's in the show feels seen and to make sure that the
Yeah.
people that are coming know what they're going to expect and see how
Mhm.
they can feel better about themselves.
And
So I think that's also the difference in like how we
yeah,
do things,
like,
at least I've
looking at it,
seen.
right?
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm gonna be real and I'm gonna get woo woo, and you're probably gonna think I'm annoying and whatever. I don't care. Not you specifically, but like other people. But like, I look at each advertising plan and each show as a creative project and as a piece of art. And maybe some people don't, and that's okay. But for me, creating the show start to finish is the art. Creating the promos is the art. Creating the set list is the art. Like all parts of it are art to me. And like when I do the promos within themselves, like that is something that's a creative direction that I'm choosing to make for a series of projects. It's not something that I'm just like, "Oh, I need to throw some pictures of people on here with their names and it just needs to look thrown together and maybe I'll just like put it in AI and just have it generate everything for me." Like, no, bitch. I'm looking at it as a creative project and I don't think everybody always does that. And back to the thing, not to toot my own horn, but I'm actually going to toot it a little bit because I think I do deserve to. And yeah, I see a lot of places don't give specialized. This is one thing that I started from the beginning because I remember feeling it when I started drag is one, a lot of the flyers just don't look good. Sorry, my personal opinion. This is me being full of myself and thinking my flyers look that good. You might hate them. I don't really care.
It's okay. Coey says that my flyers look bad too.
Yeah. So it's okay. My head is a little big sometimes about certain things, and that is human. But
Sometimes I like my flyers better. It's okay.
and that's okay. But everybody has personal
Yeah,
preference, you know,
it's
and
okay.
that's fine. But for me, I like my vibe. And anyway, from the beginning, I put a big effort on making sure
People feel seen.
almost everybody involved, if not everybody involved, and especially every performer has their own kind of spotlighted flyer. Now, have I always been perfect at that? No, because things happen, life happens. The past few months have been a little bit of a mess for me, to be quite truthfully honest. I had a big collab, it fell through last minute, and that created a domino effect of production being behind, of advertising being behind. And yeah, so it's not always perfect, but I aim to always do that and make that a goal because I know, I would go out of my way to make my own flyers when I didn't have like an official flyer for an event because it was an open stage or this or that. And I just know how much more that means to like the new people starting in drag than it will ever mean to me or someone
Yeah.
else that's been in the scene longer. Like, yeah, the features probably don't care as much. They're probably like, oh, this is a cool flyer. But to somebody who's only been on the stage one time or just one, or this is like one of their debut or this, that, or the other, they might fucking frame that poster.
Yeah.
They might keep it in a scrapbook forever. They might, you don't know, like, it means something to them though.
Yeah,
It's always going to symbolize something to
we
them.
were able to take that and roll it over to the vendors too. Because like,
Yeah.
I feel like I've done a lot of vendor markets where it's literally like, "Okay, there's one flyer and that's it," and
Mhm.
then, like, that's great, or there's, like, a really, really long list of all the vendors, but that's pretty much it, and, like, obviously, I get it, whenever you have, like, 1,000 vendors, you
Mhm.
can't do that, right? But, like, when you're sitting where we are, where you have a vendor market that's 15 to 45 people, I can do
Yeah.
flyers for each person, right? And I think that's very, very important to showcase people's work
Yeah.
and showcase people's art, or service, right? And then, like, also going back, okay, like, just like a little mini step whenever you were
Sorry. But
whenever you were talking about, like, it's a project and it's about, like, doing it, not necessarily, like, the end product. I was just sitting here just thinking, like Brandon Sanderson said, "It's the journey, not the destination."
like anyone ever has said.
Not anyone ever.
That is such a basic saying.
Okay, it's a basic saying, but it's one of the oaths,
It's like a
okay?
basic
It's an
concept.
oath. It's
But
an
I'm not saying
oath.
it's not true. It's one of those basic cliche things that is true.
Okay, well, if anyone's watching this that loves Brandon Sanderson,
I'm sorry that I'm a disgrace.
you should message which of, the Radiants you would be.
Mhm. And then you should never mind. For some reason in my head, I literally thought you were about to be vile, and you're about to be like, "You should send hate mail," and I don't know why that's where my brain went, and then I was, like, ready to ag it up. I was like, "Yes, please do."
I'm not a mean
So
person.
now if I get hate mail, I know where it came
For
from.
some reason, yeah, you told them to send it to you.
Please don't.
For some reason for some reason,
Don't be funny.
everyone I text, actually, not even everyone I text, the 3 people in our group that I have texted, that'd be Nebula, Lee, and
Bye, babe.
Megan. Those are the 3 people that anytime I texted you
Those are
guys,
gonna be quacked.
nah,
Quack, quack, quack.
if I text them anything, they're like, she mad at me? Like,
I don't
it
feel
took
that
us
way
not
anymore.
anymore, but it took us so long for you to stop seeing me texting you as me being mad at you, and then I texted Nebula something because Koe left the house, and I was like, "They're gonna forget for sure." So I texted, "Hey, just sending a reminder because I don't want Koe to forget. Can you please charge the battery pack?" Fucking Nebula goes home and says, "Is Becca mad at me?"
Actually, I think it was more I guess Becca must be mad because she just sent me a really aggressive text was actually what it was, which really sent me because really aggressive was crazy a little bit, but
I
also
don't
because it
text
wasn't
weird.
I wouldn't even have read that as really aggressive.
I don't
But then
text
again,
weird.
there's a thing too where
People read into it
I
what their own
once
insecurities say.
I once knew a girl, shout out Kyra, and I don't know that I'll probably bleep her name, but she might know who I am talking about. Nothing bad. I've already told her this anyway, it doesn't matter. But like,
Anyway.
anyway, I the first time I had this lesson was at my old coffee shop job when I moved to Raleigh, and I met this girl. And I remember I worked at the other store, and they would work us at the other store, like the other store, some other times. And the store I worked at and trained at, it was my first day moving over to the new store that I had never worked at. And so I was working there, and this girl was telling me like what to do and like helping train me because I hadn't been there that long anyway. So I was still learning some things, but also the setup was completely different. Anyway, all of a sudden she just starts talking to me like I'm stupid. Like it's just how she talks, right? Moral of the story is like, I'm like, who is this bitch? Why is she talking to me this way? Blah, blah, blah. But you get to a point where you just kind of realize that like people are just people and kind of how they are. And like you can start to tell whether someone is angry or if it's just their personality.
Or just
And
the way
not
you
to say that you're an
text.
angry person, because it's not, but you are a blunt person.
I am
And to
blunt.
some people, that comes off as angry because you're not gentle. But I like blunt people because
So
I
do I.
don't like wondering about what the fuck you're thinking. I would rather you just say it to me
Yeah, I'm not
because
about
I'm
to
an
go,
Aries and I
"Hey,
also grew up.
excuse me, I'm so sorry, I don't wanna upset you, but, like,
Yeah,
I really can you please do the battery pack?" I'm gonna be like, "I need this by
yeah.
Saturday." Because if I
And
don't, then it's not gonna get
yeah.
done.
And also, like, I grew up in a household where I had to watch people's
Yeah,
emotions and kind of they would not tell me how they really felt until they exploded. So, like,
it's refreshing.
I
You
just
know
need people to be real, like, because it's never gonna help a
no.
relationship if you're not telling me how you feel.
No,
Like,
that's
I'm
fair.
sorry, I would much rather you tell me, like, the thing that you think's gonna piss me off the most.
Which we do sometimes.
Yeah,
We'll literally
I
be
mean, and
like,
when I say you, I mean anybody.
I know, but, like,
Like, I'd rather you
we
just
do
say
that.
what you just be fucking
I think
real.
that's why we've gotten so close so fast because literally, like, the first few times that we fought, we were just like, "Okay, come back together, sit
Mhm,
down. Okay, what does this actually mean? Okay, I think we triggered ourselves. Like, I think that I internally thought you meant this, and then I told myself I was a piece of shit." Or like, "Okay, that thing you said made me feel like I wasn't good at my job."
mhm.
Like, that kinda thing, or like that I wasn't gonna be good at this and that I can't do anything right, you know?
I think one of the things that helps us too is like acknowledging that we are both people that acknowledge that other people have wounds
That's
and
fair.
they act out of those wounds.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people just like lack that nuance sometimes.
And sometimes it's
And
okay to be like, "You know what? The way you treated me, even though I know that it came from a place of hurt, is not okay."
yeah,
It's okay to
100%.
say that.
It's not saying, "Oh, this person was hurt, so like I just have to let them walk all over me." But it's also saying, okay, this person has been hurt. I can see where they've been hurt. I can see where this is coming from. Maybe I can show some empathy and some sympathy, and I can kind of try to find a way to like find a
Have
middle
that
ground. And that's
conversation.
obviously not always feasible with everyone. There
No.
are people that is not going to work with, but there are some people where that is just the case. And and that doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect either, but I don't know. I think it's
It's all about conversation, like
yeah, yeah.
anyway, I think that's what we say anytime we bring anybody on the team too, is whenever we talk to them, we're like, "It's all about communication." You can tell me, "Hey, this is actually too much for me right now," or you can say, "I actually want more to do," or you can say, like, "Next month I'll have more time," or "This isn't what I thought it was gonna be," or, "Hey, actually, this is more fun than I thought," you know? Like, it's all about conversation, or, "I don't quite understand what you mean. Can we go over that again?" You know? Like
Mhm. And I think it's also just like I mean, it does come from a place of insecurity in people because I even think about it, I mean, in my opinion, and I even think about it from my own experience of like insecurities
yeah,
and stuff because when I'm not asking questions to people or I'm not being transparent about how I feel, it comes from an old wound or a place of insecurity because and at the end of the day, whether that old wound is there, it's all from a place of insecurity
yeah.
because it's a fear of what are they gonna say? What are they gonna think? What's the situation gonna be like? Because I'm insecure in our relationship and our friendship that it's not strong enough or it's not gonna withstand
Right.
that. But it's also like the realization that like the people who are meant to be in your life are going to be in your life regardless. I do believe that. And I do think that they will put in the effort or they won't.
Yeah, and also the insecurity of feeling like you're not good enough sometimes, like, it's like,
Yeah.
well, maybe the relationship could be there, but maybe I'm not good enough to do it, you
Yeah.
know? And so I think sometimes people are just afraid of letting everybody else down because they're always told when they do something wrong, but they're not told when they do something right. And so, like, I think that's also one thing that, like, you're especially good at, I'm getting better at because, like, I don't have as many people under me, I'm gonna be
Mhm.
honest. But, like, making sure that you say, "Hey, I really like the way you did that."
I am really good at like positive
Yeah, you are,
affirmation.
you are. You're also very bad at negative affirmations.
You mean I'm bad at reprimanding and delegating?
Nope, you're really good at telling somebody when what they did is really shitty.
Well, I'm autistic and an Aries, so
No, it's fair.
I am gonna
Um,
use that as my excuse.
yeah, no, no, it's fair. But, I mean, I think we've gotten used to
But
it where
it's
it's like
also
sometimes it is just bluntness from them, and, like,
yeah, that's
I
what I was about to
think
say, it comes back to that thing of me being real.
yeah,
Like,
you have to be like that to be blunt,
I'm
to
not like that. I'll be so real, like, I am honest, but if we're not close, I'm not saying I'm gonna be a fake ass bitch, but obviously I'm not gonna be as brutally honest as I would be with someone that I'm close with, and I'm sorry if you don't understand that, but, like, not you specifically,
no, I
but,
know.
like, people don't understand that, which I think they would because
Because if you're watching this, you should know us by
yeah.
now.
Anyway, we are at about 46 minutes. One thing I did wanna touch on too, just, like, as we're talking about all this, I don't know,
You were talking about bluntness.
bluntness. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna be more blunt with the people that I'm
Closer to him.
closer to because it's like the family ties, right? You know, like, I don't know, don't make it
I was
weird.
named Rebecca after a character in Family Ties.
Oh, that's
Oh, no, it's
interesting,
Elise.
weird.
Sorry,
Oh,
Elise. My middle
interesting,
name was after Family Ties.
interesting.
It's funny. But
But
also, that means we're family.
this point
I feel like we're like siblings,
no,
honestly.
exactly. But that's just, like, honestly the truth. Like, I have been worse at I feel like I'm better about it than I used to be. I was a little bit cunty, and it was always, like, my way or the highway before. I am way more collaborative now and way more okay with being like, "Okay, maybe my vision isn't always
The only
the
vision,
only
yeah,
best vision in the world, and
that's
just
true.
because I don't necessarily resonate with other person's vision doesn't mean it's not gonna resonate with other
Or
people,
that it's wrong,
or
or
that
that
it's
it
wrong, or
looks
that"
bad or
yeah.
whatever, yeah.
And not to say that I ever truly thought that logically, but, like, subconsciously, I think that may have been, like, a
You've
little bit
said it
more rooted
before,
about what?
specifically the 3rd issue of our magazine.
3rd issue of our magazine looks like shit. Sound off in the comments. Do you think that is the best looking issue of our magazine?
You know
Or do
why,
you
though?
think it's the
Do you
worst
know
looking
why?
issue of
Do
our
you know
magazine?
why? Do you know why?
Because
Because
there
they didn't
were
trust us.
too many cooks in the
There were
kitchen.
too many. Because Chloe didn't trust me and saw it halfway done and said, "I'm going to redesign everything," and then got 2 pages done and realized it was too much, but was like, "No, I think we need to change all the fonts." So, we have, like, a very, very sweet cover with a very, very alternative font.
Yeah, it was an interesting issue.
This is
Um,
when we realized sometimes things need to be in one person's hands,
yeah,
and then, like, it's okay if I don't like, as long as I'm, like, okay with the message, it doesn't necessarily matter as long as it's not, like, so bad that
mhm.
it's like, you know?
Yeah, and that's kind of that was really when I handed over the magazine more to
Yeah,
you too, because it was just like, okay, because I knew needed to give up control on it. But it was hard for me too, because I was the one that had
came
the
up with it.
idea originally. By now, if you haven't heard already, welcome to Queerolina TV.
Yeah. So, do you wanna say how we got started with it or what it
Oh my
is?
god.
Or
So Queerolina TV was once again an idea that came to me, and I don't even know how. But essentially, we are collaborating with Xena Zero on Code Zero.
season
Season
2.
2 is coming out very soon, and we are collaborating on that and working with them for it to be exclusively on Queerolina TV.
Well,
It
not
has been
exclusively. The full episodes are
it's full
exclusively
episodes
full
exclusively.
episodes yeah. There's still gonna be stuff on YouTube, but it's gonna be a shorter version, and
Yeah,
you can get judges' commentary and the extra eliminated folks and waitlisted folks videos on
but
Queerlana TV.
essentially, the platforms we had planned to go through just weren't really working when it came to what we needed for insights, what we needed to be able to truly track views and be able to pay people and compensate them properly in a way
Mhm.
that felt proper and felt right. And so that kind of just had us lean into why not just make our own broadcasting page platform.
Essentially.
Obviously, it's the base bones right now, like it's
Mhm.
nothing fancy, but with
I
time
don't know,
as we
I think
pick
I
up
did
more
really, really
things
good on
no,
it.
I think it's good, but I think, like, as times, of course, maybe we'll have our own Queerlina TV app. Maybe we'll have our own, like, you know,
Who knows?
whole
Who knows what we
interactive
have?
thing, but right
Right
now,
now, it's on our
it's
website.
good for what it is, and
And it's
we
embedded.
yeah.
It's got so now instead of being like, "Okay, you can go watch our podcast on this and this and this and this and this and this," you can literally like, people can just find it on our
Mhm.
website. So, you can go to our website, you can say click on Queerolina TV, and it'll have, like, all of our free stuff on there. So, it'll be, like, the commercials that we make for people, and the podcasts will be there. Anything else that we decide is going to be free will still be available on there, and then you can click the watch everything or whatever, I made that one, but you can click to, like, see everything, and that'll be, like, where we have the, Code Zero full episodes of, and, like, where we have, like I'm reading right now, it's just me, but, like, hopefully we'll have some story hours from other folks as well, where we're reading, like, public domain books or indie authors, and then I'm also reading the magazine. So far, as we record this, there's only one of each of those, one video of me reading a book and one video of me reading a magazine, but there will be more, and there will be other things too. We have other people that wanna
Mhm.
add in, and you'll find out about those soon. This is our little mini I guess this is still kind of a soft launch.
Yes, this is still kind of a
Kind of a
soft
soft
launch,
launch,
but
but you can share it around and you can go get your subscription because it's $5 a month or $50 for the year, which gets you 2
yeah.
months off,
But, yeah, we plan to have a lot of really fun stuff on there.
and ways that you can support the people that have done stuff. So you
Yeah.
can have tipping
Mhm.
or whatnot.
And that was kind of an intention with this too, was like, okay, let's take bring back a little bit of the magic that TV had, right?
Mhm.
Before we all just went to streaming.
Nostalgia.
And obviously it's not the same because it is still kind of streaming, but giving it that TV vibe. And then also like being able to support smaller, more local people as well. So that it's kind of like local television, but like in a cooler way, in a more digestible format, I think, than
Yeah,
like, oh, this is the local news. Like, no,
yeah.
this is your local queer. This is like your local queer news, your local queer
Group, community. I think
communities that are doing
it's
things, and
also
it's
for
like
the
art. It's
yeah, it's for the people that don't know these people yet or, like,
yeah.
I wanna get to know this group, but I can't actually go to any of the events because I'm in California,
And
like
at the end of the day, it's just more documentation,
yeah.
another broadcast to the world. I was sitting here as you were talking, and I was like, sometimes I just like have to think that it's kind of weird that we like look into a little machine and we broadcast to the world, and it kind of is some sci-fi ass shit that we live in.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm just like,
I mean, it's
wow.
science, and it was fiction at one point.
And it was fiction at one point, and
You know
now
what? Actually, can I
I feel like
pause?
might as well just be on a spaceship.
We're gonna tangent for a hot second.
What aliens are watching this right
Can we
now?
just say I hate that they changed the Sci-Fi Channel from SCIFI to SYFY. And that happened whenever I was in high school, and it still pisses me off to this day. Just wanna say that.
I like it. But I understand, like, sci-fi, but I can see why they changed it, right? Because I think that was the vibe, right? Because I think, like, they didn't want it to feel so, like sci-fi
Science fiction.
is just but it's reading to, like, science fiction. Like, it's reading
What is SYFY supposed to stand for then if it's
I don't
not
know, it
science
just feels like
fiction?
sci-fi. Like, I don't know, it just feels like now it's its own word. It's not an abbreviation
Like
anymore.
Wi-Fi instead of Wi-Fi?
But see, I think what I like is the fi, right? The slowness. Siffy. Like, if you said
Didn't ABC channels also change their thing to, like, young something something or something like that? I don't know.
yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, this has been us.
this is where we are.
Are we in our last episode we asked, "Are we
Are we
really
okay?
okay?"
No, we're not, but we're still here, and one of us is engaged.
I'm also engaged, bitch. I just never wear a ring because I lost it, and we've been engaged since 2 months after we got together because getting married is a complicated
It
process
is.
for money.
You know what's really funny, though? I'm getting married in 2 months, and I got engaged last week.
Well, we did move in with each other, like, a month.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing both the tropes. You're doing the gay trope, and I'm doing the military trope.
Yeah, because 'cause I'm
I'm
doing
not the
the
military.
rush everything and then slow everything the fuck down like Chris.
Yeah. Well, this has
This has
been
been
fun.
us.
You should go support everyone by going to queerolina.org. That's queerolina.org. Anyway, you can go to queerolina.org, and then you can click all the tabs and figure all the things out. Definitely go check out Queerolina TV. Go check out those featured queers. And if you want to learn more about us and our specific role names and the rest of our team's role names that I came up with that are really fun, then you can go to the About Us tab. About Meet the Team, the Dream Team. That's what it's called on the website. Anyway, okay, we love you.
Love you.
Thank you for watching.
Bye. If this episode made you want to fight one of us, then we will see you the third Saturday at Dirty Bull for All Together We Rage. And you better be there in the morning as well for the Juneteenth Festival by Culture Nights that we are helping support and get vendors for and collaborating with them on that. It's going to be a great time. We're going to have a lot of fun stuff throughout the whole day. Literally 10 a.m. until 2 a.m., baby. So buckle the fuck up.
If you want to see me, you come to the earlier half and like maybe like until like 8 or 9. And then if you want to see Koe, like 5. So like if you
To
want to see
2.
both of us, just come like 5
To 10, because 5 to 7, nothing's
happening really. That's just like the switch out for like all the vendors
okay.
and
Now
shit.
we're rambling, but
But like you should come see us.
anyway.